Hello, welcome to Whittle Footy Talk, and today's special guest is a really big guest. It's Clint Hill. Welcome to the show, Clint.
Thanks very much, mate. Thanks for having me.
How have you been doing?
All right, not too bad. It's been a bit crazy, like it has been for everyone this year. But just glad to have a little bit of a rest now, back home with the kids and ready to crack on for next season.
How did you find lockdown, Clint?
Weird. I think the first one was all right because it was summertime, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we had a decent spell of weather.
Red hot, weren't it?
Yeah, and all the kids were outside, and it was okay for like a holiday, but the second one was tough. I'm sure it was for everyone.
I think it was for everyone. It
was, mate.
So what kind of things did you get up to? Did you keep yourself fit?
To be fair, mate, I did. I actually probably done myself a bit of damage, to be honest with you. Kind of got on the Strava. Don't know if you got Strava on the app.
Yeah, I've seen Strava, yeah.
So I thought, right, I'll have a little go. Let's get back into me running. And I entered this 200 kilometre challenge for a month.
I was seeing that, yeah.
So I thought, that's easy. That's only 5k a day. But as soon as you start missing a couple of days, obviously it goes up. So I was hanging on towards the end, but managed to do it.
Did you get there in the end?
I got there in the end, but yeah, my body wasn't happy.
Were you getting a good time?
All right from the age, mate.
We won't go into
No.
Just a quick one. Sammy in the playoffs just been beat, mate. I know Sammy is close to your heart.
Disappointing overall. Been a mad few weeks there. I think probably didn't help, obviously, with the manager leaving and the whole scenario of that. I think there's been a few things coming out about dressing room behaviour and not buying into the manager, and they decided to make that decision there and then before the playoffs. First game, probably should have won by more, put a bit of distance for the second leg, but Morecambe was stubborn, really stubborn, didn't really want to come out the box, did they? So to play against any team like that is hard, and unfortunately they just couldn't get over the line and get back into League One. So, but on a positive, I get to play them next year, so it's a nice easy game for me. It's only down the road.
Will you get a few goosebumps there?
No, I will do, because obviously the crowds will be back in, which is, I think everybody's missed that in football. It hasn't been the same, has it? It's been rubbish, if we're being honest. So to get back into
just with a couple of fans in now, mate, it's made a massive
big difference,
hasn't it? Yeah.
Listen, don't get me wrong, some players will thrive off not having that pressure, but some players thrive on that. You know what I mean?
Did you, Clint?
Yeah, well, yeah, I had no choice. Yeah, I was getting it no matter what, but I loved it, mate. I think it's just pure, isn't it? Football's pure with the fans in, so thank God they're back.
That's a great shout. Okay, Clint. So, where did it all start, mate?
Where did it all start? So, yeah, a bit of a weird background. Lived in South Africa as a kid. As soon as I was born in Prescott, mum and dad moved out to South Africa. Ended up living there for 7 or 8 years. So, great childhood. I wouldn't say football was a big part of my life as a child back then. I was kind of on the beach, kind of just being involved in that. But I did have a ball around. Moved back here when I was 8. Back down to, I think it was Wellingborough for a couple of years, and then moved up to Southport, where that was my main kind of home up till about 17, 18. So I've kind of been around, to be honest with you. No real academies or anything like that I went into before I managed to get into Tranmere as a YTS, really. So yeah, bit of a mixed background.
What age was that then?
So I probably started playing for Tranmere 15, 16 maybe, in the 15, 16s. Once a week down in Bidston on the plastic pitch.
How did you get picked up?
I played for Sefton, and then I made it into Merseyside schools. I didn't play many games, but I think Ronnie Taylor was the scout then. He was a great scout back in the day when he did loads of different areas and that. And he decided to take a chance. Went for a few training sessions, really. Bidston. Yeah, Bidston there on the plastic pitches, and then from then on started playing on a Saturday, and then managed to get to the end of that and leave school, and a YTS was offered to me.
What did you do as a YTS then? What was the sort of things you were
brilliant,
doing?
mate. Brilliant. So I mean, so I've left school. Obviously, I'm a Southport boy. It's about 2 hours, isn't it? Probably, and on the train, give or take. So I decided to stay over the first year and live in Diggs with one of the secretaries, which was Margaret, a great old girl. Stayed there with her for the first year. Struggled though, really struggled with it. Homesickness. I'm only 2 hours away from home, but it hit me. It hit me bad for some reason. And I only lasted in there for a year and then decided, I'm just going to get the train. I'm going to commute it, get on the train. But YTS, great days for me. Obviously, a lot of Scousers, a lot of tough lads in that YTS team. because I had 2 years. I had a year above and a year below. But some great memories, man.
Did it put you in good stead though, Clint?
Oh, definitely.
Did you have to clean boots and
everything,
stuff like
everything,
that,
everything. Clean boots, toilets, clean the stands. Make sure you had jobs. You make sure the balls were pumped to the right pressure. You had to go out and put the goals up, take the nets down. Just everything like that. God, you used to travel to away games every now and then, and you'd have to make the cups of teas, or you'd have to make sure the boots are laid out properly. And probably people think, well, God, what's the importance of that? But it just gives you a grounding, to be honest with you, and it makes you appreciate. So you got to go. For me, you got to go through the struggle to appreciate things. And I'm definitely a believer that if you do those jobs and you do it to the best of your ability, or you get told that it's not the best of your ability, so you might get punished by not playing football, that you appreciate it more.
That's a great shout, though.
So it definitely helped me. Definitely helped, yeah. Oh, definitely.
So you a YT, how long were you in a YT for, Clint?
So it'd be 2 years.
2 years.
So you do 2 years. Obviously you have a first year and a second year, and then after your second year, if you're good enough, you get offered a year pro.
Was there anyone you were looking at that you thought you'd shake them off, your role model? Position or...
So you look at the older pros, really, don't you? So, I mean, we had some great players back at Tranmere. We had Sean Teal, John McGreal, David Chandler was coming through then. Who else did we have? We have Andy Thorne. Remember Andy Thorne? Came from Wimbledon Palace. Real old school, wily defender. Yeah. Probably no one really looks at him and thinks, he's outstanding. But for me, I focused on him. Because he'd done all these little freaking dark arts, we call them, you know what I mean? Little body checks, or little blocks, or he'd take someone out at the right time and no one would see it. And I was like, bloody hell, I'm all day for that. That's a skill, that's a skill, because he wasn't quick, he wasn't big, he wasn't athletic. I was thinking, how's he getting away with this? And I just watched him and I thought, wow, this fella's all day. So I just studied him, and I definitely took it into my career. And
did you use that throughout your career?
Definitely. And then I think towards, I think I went to Stoke and played with Jerry Taggart, who was another one, proper old school defender who knew the dark arts and the way he used his body, and he used to get more fouls than strikers he come up against, because he just manipulate it into conning referees that he got fouled instead of giving fouls away to the refs. And I was like, yeah, brilliant, so I'm going to use a little bit of that as well.
That's brilliant. What other influences? There was Warwick an influence.
Warwick, massive, what a guy.
Because we've had a lot of talk about Warwick on the show, mate, but I don't think people appreciate how good Warwick was for Tranmere.
I think if you've done a study on him and the people that he brought through,
be amazing.
And the money he made that club, and it's probably where it is now, really, in terms of structure and facility wise, because of him, because of the way he brought kids through and the way he made them progress to first team level, and the money they got sold for. So for me, it should be a statue there for him. You know what I mean? It's fantastic, definitely, mate. He's an absolute legend. I've only seen him a year ago.
On his hands or not?
Oh, mate, what a guy! Seriously, when we were YT, he used to join in with you. Yeah. He used to join him, and he was class. He was a solid, rock hard, solid bloke.
Didn't he play for Bolton?
Yeah. He was a fullback as well, I think. So he was a tough fella, but he was inspirational. Yeah, great fella.
Oh, brilliant! I love it. The people talk about it because I did them in the academy. He was fantastic. So when you went to Tranmere, you were a YT, Clint. Were you playing centre back then?
Trying to think. Yeah, I think I was. Pretty much put in that centre back role, all the way from I think towards the end of 15, 16, and kind of stayed there really throughout my Tranmere career. It was only later that people started putting me left back and all these other bad positions. But yeah, centre half was my main kind of position at Tranmere.
And when did you sort of break into the first team? Did you start training as a YT with the first team?
Yeah, so obviously you get a chance to kind of step up every now and then and to throw a few young kids in against the first team players. Or you might get, I can remember Pat Nevin saying, I need some 1v1 work on me crossing, so I'd have to be the defender, which is like, Pat Nevin, brilliant. Yeah, great training this is for me. Or you might have to defend a few crosses against John Aldridge, you know what I mean, which is like, class, brilliant. So you got to get all these little experiences, and I just seen it as a challenge, and so I just went up there and I needed to make an impression, because then they want to take their shirts. That's the way I looked at it. It's cutthroat, isn't it? So yeah, I made. I think I left a few of them upset with a few challenges and that when I speak to them now.
Physio was busy.
Oh yeah, Great times though, mate, great times.
Did you learn a lot? Because they've been seasoned pros, haven't they? And you're a young kid coming through. Did you learn much off them? Like little things like Aldo in the air and stuff like that?
Yeah, to be fair, they didn't give you any quarter given. So you went up there and you had to make sure that you were up to their standard. Because I've listened to a few of the podcasts and a few people have said how hard it was and mentally tough and people were on them. I just seen that as a challenge. I just thought, yeah, sound, you think I'm not good enough, or you think I'm crap, or you think I won't play for the team, sound. That's just like fuel to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, sound, keep topping it up for me, because I'm keep coming back and I'm going to prove myself, well, prove you wrong about myself. And
so do you think you're mentally tough there, Clint?
Yeah, but that was from all that.
Yeah.
That was from all that, from the YTSs, from the way the first team players treated you if you got jobs wrong. I mean, there'd be certain days where you get punished because the jobs were crap, the balls were too flat, boots weren't polished right, it was a mess in the changing rooms, and you probably won't remember Valley Road. Valley Road, Valley Road, which was a old little training ground, and the corridors were really thin, and all the lads used to line up down a really thin corridor. And if you didn't do your jobs properly, you had to run through this corridor, and lads would start kicking and volleying you all the way down. And like that was just one thing. I don't know. People might think, are you freaking nuts? So, but it was little things like that made you mentally tough and mentally strong. And listen, I can see the point from different people's perspective in terms of, you know, I don't know, that wasn't for me. That was a little bit too much. And hey, listen, it probably was at times, but for me, it was a great grounding in terms of how I seen football, because football's not easy and it's a hard game. Mate. Mentally, it's tough, and it gave me a great understanding and barrier.
Do you think as the higher you go, it gets more mentally tougher? Everything gets tougher?
Yeah, I mean, the game gets quicker, obviously against better players, and it's ruthless. It's ruthless. I don't think it gets much time to kind of make mistakes and learn from it, because people's jobs. It's a beautiful game, but it's ruthless, mate. It is ruthless. It's tough, and you have to pay your rent every day, mate. Because if you come off it or you disrespect it by 1%, you get found out, and you end up losing your shirt.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
That's the problem.
Whose shirt did you take to get into the first team? God. Do you remember?
Can't remember. So my opportunity came away at Nottingham Forest. I think they had a few injuries. Nottingham Forest away, so we're on the coach. Obviously I got put into the squad, but didn't think I'd play, and then on the coach down, Aldo pulled me over to his table and said, listen, you're going to play tomorrow, so just get prepared and enjoy it, and I just wanted to make you aware that you'll be playing, so it doesn't come at you.
How were you feeling then? Because
I was fine before it. After it,
we spoke to academy kids and like listening to Steve Harley speaking stuff. And you can coach kids as much as you want and give them everything, but once you cross the white line, it's totally different. Of course it is, yeah. So once he told me that I was playing, then obviously you start getting all these butterflies, all these nerves, and get the little devil on your shoulder going, oh, you're going to be rubbish, you're going to be, as everyone does. And then the best thing he did was, I think, when we arrived there, he pulled us into the bar downstairs, everybody, and said, listen lads, have a couple of pints. I'll have a couple of pints. This is my first away trip, and I'm going, what? So he said, yeah, have a couple of pints, just a couple of pints, get you to sleep so you can relax. So I was having a couple of pints with all the lads, just having a chat, thinking, is this the way it is here? And then ended up going to bed. And it's probably the best thing for me, to be honest, because it just relaxed. So if you eat, it's easier, hasn't it? So you go to sleep and you make sure. Yeah, I don't. It's just because the way you just brought it down to a little bit on the level and just have a chat, have a beer, take the pressure off. That there's a big game tomorrow at Nottingham Forest against Van Hooijdonk, Kevin Campbell, and God, 20,000 people. Masterstroke, brilliant, great little. I'll probably take that with me somewhere, but I don't know where. So you get to Forest for your debut, and you can do the warm-up and stuff like that. How did you feel once the whistle went, mate? I don't remember much of the game. I can't remember much of the game. I remember giving the ball away. Like, I think one of my first passes, I think I kicked it out for a throw-in. I can remember that. And then it was just, you're playing against like Van Hooijdonk and Campbell's, like, so your mind's just concentrating on them. Yeah. And you just don't want to do anything wrong. And I can remember, I think we got a 2-2 draw in the end, which was a good result. Yeah. Good result in the end, away at Nottingham Forest. And I can see all my family were there, and I can just remember coming off being absolutely like what's happened? Did you feel
what's
proud
happened
as
there.
punch, though?
Yeah, but it's all like, you've got so many emotions in your you've got so many emotions in your head, you've got so many emotions in your head, you're like, fucking hell, what's just happened here? I'm like, I'm knackered, I'm drained, I've never experienced this pressure before in terms of the pace and the relentlessness, and like they've had so much of the ball. Like, you're just defending and you're just absolutely wiped out.
Yeah.
Because you've been concentrating so hard.
And all the emotions.
Yeah. And you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
What do you do now? Yeah. So you just end up going to Kip, I think. But what an experience to make your debut. I think I was 18. And to make it at such a great ground with good players.
And a good club.
Yeah, and a good result as well.
So you said about John Aldridge there, was he a good influence for you?
Yeah. Listen, a lot of people don't speak highly of him or have got grudges against him, and for whatever reason, I don't know, everyone's got their own things that happened. But for me, he could have easily fobbed me off, because I was a nightmare from when I made my debut to 22, 23, I was a nightmare, getting sent off, I was getting 15 bookings, I was down at the FA frigging once or twice a year. Just like, he could have easily gone, get away from me, can't rely on you. But he kept putting me in, kept playing me, kept sticking by me. Listen, we had our run-ins. We had a few run-ins where it could have come to blows. We had disagreements on certain things. But I owe a lot to him, because he kept playing me, gave me a contract and kept believing in me. Sent me to a psychologist to try and help me in terms of why you're getting sent off.
How did you find that then?
Yeah, I was open to it because I needed help, like, freaking hell. After that Wembley one where I got sent off was a mess, like, fucking hell. Low point in my life, wanted to forget everything, just wanted to walk away.
I was actually at that game.
Yeah, it was 80,000 as well, more. Not happy, like.
Ticket.
Did he?
Yeah.
All the lads were there, so all your family. God, big game. But yeah, I went to see a psychologist who just sat me down and goes, what are you thinking? What are you seeing when you go into tackles, and what's your thoughts? And
yeah, I was just about to say, did you remember the tackle at Wembley? Did you actually remember it, or was it just?
I remember the first one.
Yeah.
The first one, I think. I don't know if it was It might have been I think, I don't know. That was a naughty one. That could have easily been a red. Yeah. To be honest with you. The second one, it all just happened so quickly. Yeah. I mean, I can remember just maybe barging him a little bit, but I can remember him going down. And I'll be honest, it's not a game I've ever watched back in my life.
Haven't you?
Not watched 1 minute of it. I don't think I ever will.
Oh, you won't miss it, will you?
No, I don't. It's just, it's not got good memories for me.
So you're at Tranmere, mate, so you've obviously had the cup final. Yeah. How was it going in the leagues and stuff like that?
The leagues were kind of strange. We couldn't get any consistency then, those years. Great cup team. Beat anyone who came to Prenton Park. Go away from home, nick a draw, bring them back. And then we knew if we get them back to our place, in that ground with that atmosphere, like, anything could happen. And I think some of the results we had back then were amazing.
So you're
absolutely
consistently
amazing.
In the team then, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I am. But I can just remember the league form wasn't great.
No.
It wasn't great. It was up and down. But as soon as them cup runs came about, we were like just, I don't know, reignited us, took the pressure off, and thought, yeah, we'll have a go at this.
And did you have that buzz in the dressing room when you got them back to Prenton Park?
Yeah, you just knew, because I think we beat a couple of teams, the Middlesbroughs, the West Hams. I think Leeds was in there as well. And we just knew that we fancied our chances. Obviously, we had the long throw. Yeah. So we knew, like, the ball was coming in from the halfway line in. Yeah. It's coming in your box, and so see if they can cope with it.
Did you go?
Yeah, we all did. Yeah, well, Dave was like one of my main assists. He used to just put them in. I used to head them in.
Oh, I've looked at your stats, and you've scored a couple of goals.
They were, yeah. I went through a run of like 6-7 goals. I think it was all from like Davey, to be honest with you. But it was a great weapon. Nobody liked facing it. Nobody.
I was a ball boy for the Shafts for years.
Yeah.
Because the Shafts lads used to do the ball boy, and one day we come and there was hot, like, slaps cuts, wasn't there? And he used to get the runway and just throw it. Great too.
So just open the gate, didn't you?
Yeah.
Gate be left open, you'd be in the stand, boom, launch it in. Oh, what a missile, man! What a weapon that was. And teams hated playing against that. Oh, you're right at this.
Yeah.
Rory Delap was another one at Stoke. He took that into the Premier League, and teams couldn't cope with it there.
Yeah.
So
can you do it on a cold Wednesday night?
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, hey, you're not wrong. Yeah.
So you're at Tranmere, mate, and how did it come to you come out to the end?
Yeah, weird. So I signed I signed a 4-year deal at, it must have been 2019, 20, I can't quite remember. And all through those years, never got mentioned about renewing a contract. I was captain. Obviously, I think we went down. I stayed that year into my last year. Again, nothing was talked about in terms of renewing my contract. So I was like, okay, what's happening here? So I would have happily stayed because, you know what I mean, part of the club for a while, but I was playing games. It was close to home. So I probably would have stayed, but there was no communication whatsoever. Now I'm thinking there was snippets or there was sniffs of clubs coming in for me that they turned down, and maybe they thought they could get bigger money with the tribunal at the end of the year, which didn't materialise. It didn't materialise. So I went into that summer, right through to middle of pre-season, the season after, kind of without a club. And I think, looking back, maybe my disciplinary record put a lot of teams off, scared a lot of teams off, which you can understand. So it got to a couple of weeks into pre-season. I think Ian Dowie came in, who was at Oldham, and they were going for promotion, and they had a good squad they were investing, and he invited me to come over. I said, yeah, sound, no problem, but they had to sort a tribunal out. Now, I think Tranmere were looking for kind of money that they got off a Simonson or a Kumas or whatever, the lads who had left before me, but they were nowhere near that. I think they got about 125 grand or something like that. So, yeah, looking back at it now, I think they probably had an agenda of, now we'll let the contract go and we'll get a bigger payoff, which didn't materialise.
How were you feeling at that time? Because Tranmere was a big part of your life.
Yeah, it was. Obviously been through a hell of a lot, stuck by me, give me that contract, but I think towards the end it was, well, they're going in a different direction. I think Dave Watson was in at the time then, and I just thought, right, they're going in a different direction. No problem. I think I went back into train when they started, but within a day or two they said, nah, there's no contract here, so off you pop. So I was like, sound. Okay, that's the way it is, Sam. Shake your hand, see you all later, good luck, all the best.
So did you have an agent then, Clint?
Probably signed one towards the end of that, or beginning of that season, I think. I changed agents.
Because I know, we'll go into it further, I know you're assistant manager now, so you deal with agents. A lot of people didn't have agents then, did they? So
no, you used to use PFA, didn't you, back then?
Yeah.
So they got like an agency that they built into the foundation. They'd come in and do a deal for you. But you always felt that they'd look after the club more than the player sometimes. Yeah. So it was a bit of a weird one, so you can understand some players going on their own. So
you go to Oldham, mate. You signed. Ian Dowie's the manager.
Yeah, good.
How did it go there?
Good. Loved him. He's a great guy, Ian. Totally different trainer. He had a rugby coach with him who'd done the sports and fitness, and we'd be in the gym on a Monday morning, in the swimming pool, at 6:30 in the morning, doing swimming, doing lengths, power lengths, kind of fast length, slow length, just different types of fitness. Then we come out, we do a football session. Then in the afternoon, you go and do boxing sessions. It was totally different to what I expected and what I'd seen before. Oh yeah, just had everything, and really enjoyed it. Had a good squad, hell of a squad.
Who were the kind of players?
Ayres, he was there. David Ayres with their great left peg. We had the Sheridan brothers, John and Daz. We had Clyde Wynard, Carlo, Corazin, some top players. Murray, God, just a proper decent squad, and we were like on fire that season. On fire, got into the playoffs towards the end of that.
Sure, you got into the playoffs?
Yeah, but I broke my leg around December. I think we went to Crystal Palace in a cup tie, and I wasn't due to play. I had a fitness test that afternoon, and I felt okay. And then I went into the game and ended up breaking my leg halfway through that game, which put me out for like 3 or 4 months.
How did you deal with that?
Yeah, sickener, horrible. Cast up to your thigh, couldn't put any weight through it for 12 weeks. Lose all your muscle. Yeah. You can't even go into work to see the lads. So I just moved to Liverpool and I was in the flat. Just frigging wasting days.
Hard?
It was, because you can't even, like, have you ever been on sticks? They're horrible, aren't they? You get about 15 yards and you're knackered, you're sweating, your arms are aching. It's like, oh God, so you just, horrible 12 weeks. Horrible 12, not great. Not just a poor side of football, unfortunately.
So you got to the playoffs. How did you get on the playoffs?
So we played QPR. I came back 2 games before the end of the season. I think away at Huddersfield, and I played 1 more. I was okay. I wouldn't say I was 100%. And then we played QPR, funny enough, in the 2 legs. So I missed the first leg at home. I think it was 0-0. Then we went to their place. I think we lost 1-0. Last 2 minutes, I think. Like gutted. So we were out to play. Yeah, gutted. Absolutely gutted. And then from then...
Did you take defeats like that home, did you, Clint?
Yeah, always, right up until probably I had kids.
Yeah. Right
until I had kids. People say, like, why didn't you enjoy football? Enjoy it, surely. Just enjoy football. It's great, isn't it? Yeah, it's great if you win. That's the way. That's my mentality. If you lose, it's not great because it's horrible because no one's winning. You know what I mean? It's like you're either losing money or you're losing your position in the team. You're losing position in the league. There's loads of things like that, and people think, just enjoy it. No. You enjoy it when you win.
So you're like older mate, and then it comes to the end of 2003.
Yeah, I was only there for a year, yeah.
Yeah, and then
to Stoke.
Yeah,
so end of that year, I think the owner of Oldham kind of started pulling money out. Yeah. I don't know if his businesses went a little bit iffy.
Is there something at Oldham where they don't own the football?
Yeah, I think that came after me, but it's a bit of a weird one. I don't know who's nicked money. Someone's nicked money, I think, from the stand. I don't know, but it's a bit weird situation. So the owner decided to, I think he was pulling out, so he needed to sell players and get rid of players. And I was one of the top earners back then. So Stoke came in. Yeah. I think paid a few quid for me, and then
Who's
we went to
Stoke,
was Tony Pulis then.
Tony Pulis.
Yeah, so Tony. So I had to go to Stoke really.
Yeah. And what was that like?
It was good because big club.
What's Tony Pulis like?
Yeah, very very structured, very disciplined. He told me a great lie. To be fair to him, was brilliant. Proper manager. Like put me in the car. Started driving me around the training ground. Drive down. Then he goes, it'd be brilliant here. Every day we get 800-900 fans, just watching training and seeing how we are. Brilliant, fantastic. Into the stadium. Stadium's great, fantastic stadium, isn't it? Yeah. So I was signing anyway, no matter what, because I just thought Championship, good club, it's what I need. And I never ever seen a fan at the training ground ever, ever. Just brilliant, like good management by him, innit? You got to sell, you got to get players in, and I just thought, a wily old fox there, like. Yeah. But very disciplined in the way he played the game. He wouldn't give you much freedom. It was all structured, very defensive when I was there. But at the time, never got relegated. We were a solid Championship team.
Did everyone know the role?
Everyone knew the role, and we weren't a nice team to play against. Everyone hated playing against us, which I see as a badge of honour, to be honest with you.
Well, that's part of football, isn't it?
Yeah. So listen, it was good, solid job he did for the club, and I think when he left it affected him, and he ended up coming back and kicked them right on. Yeah. So yeah, good manager.
Were you living down in Stoke then? Or?
I moved to Nantwich, yeah. Moved to Nantwich and lived there for, I think 3 of the years. 3 of the years when I was there.
Was that enjoyable?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Lovely place. Nice place to live. Moved down there with the missus. It was just nice and quiet, and I just thought it was only 20 minutes into training, so just perfect for me. Stoke career, a bit of a hit and miss. I think I was there 4 years, only played 80 odd games. Broken legs, cruciate ligament, shaven cartilages, just loads of little niggly, horrible injuries that I couldn't shake off. And I think, if I look back, I don't think I'd done the rehab properly on my broken leg, and it just tumbled from there.
What was that with, coming back too early? Or?
Coming back too early, probably not doing enough strength on it, and I just think my body just fell apart from there for a period of time. When I did play, I'd done okay. I won a few Player of the Year awards and done all right, but I just couldn't get a run.
Centre back with then?
So it would have been my first year, I think Wayne Thomas, and then Jerry Taggart, Michael Dewberry, good player, good centre half. And that's when I started getting flicked out to left back, I think, because Tony likes to play with a big solid back four. So I got flipped out to left back, and then...
How did you find that, the transition?
Weird, yeah, because centre half, you're more covered, you're more surrounded by people, a little bit safer. Where left back, you're coming up against different challenges and quick players, and it was like, oh no. It was something I adapted to, and I must have done all right, because I played there quite a few times towards the end of my career as well, but very strange kind of, you think it's only It's only one position there.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't think it'd mess with you, but it does.
Yeah.
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, another string to me bow, which was good.
Did you join in with the play then when you played left back, or did you have to stay as a strict 4?
I was more kind of just supporting from behind. Yeah. If you went that way, you could just hear Big Tony pulling you back. Get back! What are you doing? Get back! So I didn't venture forward too much. I just give it to the good players and let them crack on.
What was Tony Pulis like on a day-to-day basis? Was he good manager, good sessions?
I mean, I was very structured. You knew what you were going to do from a day-to-day.
Yeah.
Pre-seasons were ridiculously hard. Proper hard sessions, fitness-wise, running, different kind of runs, a lot of hill runs, sprints up these hills, long distance runs mate, tell me about it. But they were deadly. Yeah. They were deadly. But again, you knew when you went into the season that you were fit, and that's the main thing for pre-season, because Tranmere's weren't easy as well.
Yeah, do you feel better when you're as fit as a footballer? Because it's a good thing for kids out there. Yeah, fitness is a massive part of football, isn't it, Clint?
Massive, because it's just you need that foundation. Like we found it. We'll probably touch on it later, where Bristol Rovers didn't do a pre-season, and they got paid for it. They decided to go down a different route of more of a football technical kind of pre-season. Wow. So, which I've experienced a couple of times during my career, and it's nowhere near. It's nowhere near what you should be. You need that foundation of fitness. Yeah, just so you know when you go to, like you said there, rainy night at Stoke, and it's raining and the pitches are heavy, that you know, I'm fit enough to cope with this.
That's the one, isn't it?
That is the one.
And also, you're playing against really good players with big budgets, make you want to stop them playing. You've got to be fit.
You've got to be fit. You've got to match them, because you've got to know, you know they're fit and they work hard.
So when you're at Stoke, mate, you had a loan at Palace?
So it's coming towards the end of my career, so it's a weird one. I was in my last year, wasn't really playing. So I went to Tony, I said, listen, I'm not playing here. Yeah. Can I go out and play somewhere? Neil Warnock came in for me. And Tony said, yeah, no problem. Go play. So it ended up being a loan, but a permanent tied in. So I went and played, I don't know how many games, 15 games, I think, towards the end of the season. And Palace were at the bottom, like near the bottom of the champ, and they were struggling. But when we got there, we kicked round, went on 18 games, unbelievable run, and we got into the playoffs that year. Wow. So it was and I needed it, because at Stoke I wasn't playing. I thought, getting injured, sometimes you just need to get away and start afresh. And Palace was what I needed, managing like a Neil Warnock as well, who was someone different, and just give you that enthusiasm and that zest to play football again with a smile on your face. I needed that at that time, and he gave me that.
He's a big character, Neil Warnock.
Brilliant, mate. He's fantastic.
Was he really good with you?
Yeah, just brilliant in the way that he talked to you. You know what? He just made things simple, which is important sometimes, because football can be a little bit too complicated. When sometimes just need simplicity and go, hey, I trust you to do your job. I mean, handing you the responsibility. Crack on and do it, and don't let me down. Please. And he was fantastic, mate. And just the little things you should do, take the pressure off you in certain games. Like, I think we went to the Premier League with that team with Neil, and we're playing Chelsea at home, big derby, hatred there. First time they played Chelsea for a long time, and I was running up and down the line against, I think, Daniel Sturridge, and he's going to me. I see this big smile on his face, and the ball goes out for a throw, and then he goes. I pick the ball, he hands me the ball. He goes, bloody hell, Clint, who would have thought me and you being in the Premier League playing against Chelsea, son? And just started laughing and smiling. I'm going, freaking hell. Trying me bollocks off here to try and deal with all these superstars at Chelsea. Going, you're having a laugh with me. And I just thought, it just brought the tension down, and hey, he's right, He's right, what a great occasion this is. Come a long way. Yeah. Down just the purity of, hey, how good's football? Just little things like that.
Did you enjoy the game more then as well? Did you settle down a bit more with him?
Yeah, you probably did, because you think, well, if the manager's like that, hey, I can do it. I can have a little laugh. I can play with a smile on my face, because some managers can be really tense and not give you that freedom, and maybe it can affect you a little bit.
Just going back to fans there, Clint, because you played at Stoke and the Britannia, they make a lot of noise, don't they? I've been there with Liverpool away, and I've been to Palace away as well. It's quite an old stadium, Palace, isn't it? Brilliant. But it's quite on top of you as a player, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's just unique stadiums with proper kind of football people fans, if you know what I mean, like the old school working class, work hard through the week, go in, watch the football, support the team, and that's their freedom, that's their release from all the pressures of life, I suppose, which is what we are as football fans, isn't it? So you got that feeling of how important it was to represent the teams and more importantly, give 100%. 100%. That's the minimum. Make sure they see you fighting for the shirt, because that's all, whatever.
I think you've done well there, Clint, because people do see you as a fan's favourites in a few places where you go, where you're at.
Yeah, I think you have to, because listen, I can't nutmeg people or take people on, stick one in the top corner, like and get adulation that way. So I have to go, well, what am I good at? I can do this, I can do that, and hopefully people will appreciate that as well.
Is that sticking to what you're good at?
Exactly.
Yeah. Little goal,
keeping things
kids, that stick to what you're good
as
at.
simple as possible. Realise what you're good at and highlight the good things you can do, and hide the things that you're probably not too good at. Cover them up if you can.
As best you can.
As best you can.
Yeah. So you're at Palace, mate. So you're living in London now?
Yeah.
Did you move down the smoke?
Yeah. So obviously we just had our first kid, Maya, my daughter, just as I was moving down to Palace, and that was hard. I was up in a hotel for 3 months on my own. Just had my baby girl, couldn't really see her that much, and it was hard. And I didn't really fancy London at first. I thought, because I'm a northern lad, I thought, you hear all the stories, I don't think this is for me. But slowly but surely I loved it.
I know
enjoyed it so much.
I was in the army, mate, so we were in a place called Hounslow, near Heathrow Airport, and I was there for 2 years. And you know what, mate, I hated it the first 2-3 months, but as I got in and settled and went and explored, it's great London, isn't it?
Brilliant. Loved it, mate. Loved it. I was obviously at the south, London with Palace, and then obviously I moved around to West, so I've seen different sides of it, and just fantastic place. I loved it. On the train into London, bosh, back out. Anything you want. If you want to go for a beer late, somewhere's open. If you want to go a show, somewhere's open. So it's just, once you got used to it and started appreciating what it was for, it was a fantastic city.
So was it a happy time at Palace?
Yeah, it was, really good. Good dressing room, good manager. And we had a good little push to the playoffs. I think we lost out to Bristol City in the playoffs. I think we had a penalty to go 2-0 up at their place, hit the post. I think Trundle, you probably know,
Trundle,
he ended up scoring a goal, and I think we lost 2-1 in the end, and we were devastated. But then we looked at it and went, well, we're in relegation battle at the beginning of the season. Got into the playoffs, so good solid finish of the season.
You've had a few goals at the playoffs.
We have, been unlucky, mate, until I was 30, God knows what age, what was I, 36 maybe, 35, 36, God. Yeah, so I had a few bad ones, mate, but in the end it was a good one, because at the bottom of the league and we got to the playoffs, so hey, good season.
Outsider.
And then it just, like, to be fair, and then it just went, Neil, I don't know if you know the story of Palace, where they went into administration, didn't they? The following year. Yeah. So obviously you had to hire that. Next season, Neil leaves, goes to QPR, I think, or in that season goes to QPR. Palace get deducted 10 points, so we're going for playoffs, reasonably placed in the league. We get deducted 10 points because the club's gone into administration. A hedge fund has decided to pull its money or cash in. This is Simon Jordan at the time. So get punished 10 points, fly into Newcastle, one of the biggest teams there, top of the league, land, everyone's phones start going off. What's happening? It's like, is there a World War II or something going on? Or bang, we've been deducted 10 points. Go on to the league table, Crystal Palace have gone into administration, 10 points deducted. Can't play any of your star players because they need selling. And we've gone, Jesus, absolutely deflated. And to our credit, mate, we got right to the end of the season to play Sheffield Wednesday away at Hillsborough, where we needed a point and not to get beaten. Sheffield Wednesday needed to beat us to stay up. We needed a point to stay up. And we got the point of Sheffield Wednesday in front of all their fans. Sent Sheffield Wednesday down. We stayed up on the last day.
Wow.
And it was like the relief. Like, you talk about winning trophies as like it is. It is. That's like winning a trophy. That sometimes, taking it to the wire, surviving on the last day, and it's like winning a trophy.
And you go back to the poor fans who are paying, who you said, because the proper footy fans, the Palace, they didn't ask to be booked at 10 points.
They travelled, mate. They travelled in the thousands that game, and yeah, after that it was murder. I think Sheffield Wednesday fans were trying to kick me head in, punch me head in, like, oh yeah, it was like, but I was just so full of like elation and relief that like no one was touching me.
Have we got a Neil Warnock story before we move on?
Neil Warnock. So Neil Warnock was, I can remember him. We used to go on pre-season trips, and like my first experience to go to pre-season, he used to take you to Cornwall, which was his home. That's where he lives. So he'd stay in his house and he'd drive his little convertible around the villages, and he'd meet you on the pitch and sunglasses on, king of Cornwall. So we were playing one of these little local teams that he sorted out, who one of his friends owns, just favour for favours. And then playing this game, and he's walking around with a little list. I'm going, what's he doing here? Just going around to people, going, writing things down. And he comes to me and he goes, right son, after the game we've got a barbecue, we're going to have a few drinks and a little social after the game, so what would you like after the game? And this is my first experience of Neil Warnock. I'm thinking it's pre-season, it's supposed to be grafting, it's the first game, want to hit the ground running, and he's walking around with a bloody piece of paper going, right, what would you like? You want a pint? Yeah, pint of lager, what, burger, chips, hot dogs, yeah. And I'm going, you know what's happening here? You just look around, looking at each other going, is this right, this? Yeah. But he was brilliant, mate, and he never gave you a curfew. We used to go to Italy on pre-season trips, and he'd tell you where to go. So we'd sit down in Italy, just land, and he'd be there, sunglasses on, round the pool, nice little meeting. And he'd go, right lads, food, absolutely tremendous food here, like the best ever. Not going to stop you eating it because it's just too good. And we're like, happy days, gaffer, thank you. And he goes, right, so if you come out the hotel, you do a little right, a left, a right, walk down for about half a mile. He goes, it's the best place you have ever seen in your life. Nightclub, the discos, the beers here. Just go and enjoy yourself, lads. He says, as long as you're here for training and you don't give me any grief and there's no police coming into the hotel, crack on.
Brilliant.
Crack on. And we were like, happy days. And it was like, that was our first kind of year together. That's when we won the league. Yeah. Because we had these 18 new players, and he saw it as a chance to get together. So we were all out together, and we were swapping clothes, and we were buying hats, and you know what I mean, just having a great time together, And it was fantastic. But just little stories like that where he just take the pressure off you and just trust you to do it properly.
That bond's very important.
It was.
It is. Going to war with people, you've got to back each other.
It does, and the best way to do it is having a pint. It's probably one of the best ways you can. Loosen up and everything. I know a lot of people probably don't drink these days, but I just felt so, like, you just got to know people in a different light, like. Yeah. It was brilliant. Great times.
So Neil's moved to QPR, mate, hasn't he?
Mm.
So do you follow him there?
Yeah, so my contract runs out at Palace at the end of that year, where thankfully they survived, and they're just going through problems now. They've still got a few issues with administration, but they can't sign players, so I go with Neil. Neil rings me up and says, listen, QPR, come with me. Come in, be a good lad that you are, training. Not promising you a place, but just come in and like enjoy it, really. So he offers me a 2-year contract, and I decide to go, definitely. Great football club. Different area in terms of where to live as well. Beautiful place. I lived in Windsor, which was like the Queen's back garden.
Back garden, Windsor, mate.
There you go. You'll know how lovely it is, mate, isn't it? Yeah, it's beautiful, mate. I just loved it around there. Ended up staying there for 6 years. What a place.
Brilliant. And this must be a happy time, QPR.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so we obviously, that pre-season where we've kind of recruited 18 new players, a whole new team. We've just hit the ground running. 18 games unbeaten. Into that season, we're top of the league. Adel Tarabat's doing his magic, lollipops, everything you want to see out of a player, scoring goals from nowhere. The team's solid, we're keeping clean sheets, we can go to war if we need to go war, or we can play football. So it was just a great mix, and we end up winning the league, like at the league championship that year by 5 points, I think. So everything you dreamed of as a kid just came right that season.
Do you think you're peaking there, in your peak?
God, 30. Yeah, you know what, probably a bit of a Benjamin Button. I think I got better as I got older.
You did?
Definitely a bit weird. I got slower, but I was never quick anyway. So I never had to rely on my pace, but I definitely got better. As I got older, and that year was just fantastic, mate. To win the league trophy was something I'd never experienced before, because I've always been.
What did you do when you won the league trophy, mate? Did you have like a
went out and had a... No, we I don't know why we didn't. There's some kind of palaver going on with the council or whatever, but the lads had an unbelievable night out. Yeah. The chairman took us out. and just let us go riot in this nightclub. And he paid the bill, and it was, wow, it was brilliant.
Super, yeah.
Oh, it was a good, proper night out.
So you've won the championship.
Into the Premier League. Somewhere I never thought I'd get to,
yeah. Yeah, because when you started off at Tranmere as a white team, did you ever think you'd have aspirations in football, but obviously that's the pinnacle, isn't it?
I just wanted, Tranmere was getting to the first team.
Yeah.
And then it was stay in the first team.
Yeah.
You never think about moving or transfers or getting anywhere else, and then things just materialise somehow. And I just seen it as opportunities. I never thought I'd get as high as I did, but definitely the grounding I got from Tranmere and the resilience it gave me in terms of the mental strength made me push harder and get everything out of my career that I could get and more.
As you go into the Premier League, you're looking at the fixtures and thinking, wow, what's going to happen here?
Well, I had a nightmare first experience, because we got up, and obviously my first Premier League appearance, I'm like, oh yeah, brilliant, made it in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Beautiful. We played Bolton at home, which, no disrespect, was one of the lower teams in the Premier League. Yeah. We get spanked 4-0. Spanked 4-0 at Bolton. You're thinking, God, this is going to be hard. End up getting sent off for a headbutt on Petrov. So my first Premier League appearance, we get spanked 4-0 and I get sent off. Just the Clint Hill story, mate. The Clint Hill story. Oh God.
What did you get there? A couple of games?
I think 3 games, but I lost my place there.
Did you?
Lost my place. I had to go on loan to Nottingham Forest in the end. Yeah. To get some games.
But I've done my own work here. Forest is the only team you never scored for.
It was. Wow. It was. Only played 5 games though. Only played 5 games. I probably need about 20, 25 to get a goal.
Who was your Forest then?
Steve McLaren was the manager then. So I went to Neil and said, listen, I'm not playing here. I need to go. Can I go? And he goes, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, go play games. And another proper old school football club. Yeah. Brilliant. Lot of history. Big pressure when you put the shirt on as well because of the expectation. Wasn't a great time. Kind of hovering around that kind of relegation zone. But played for 5 games there and enjoyed it. It was tough, but I enjoyed it. And then I got the call back. I think there was a few injuries at QPR. Yeah. And he rung back and said, listen, that's that Chelsea game. He said, listen, we play Chelsea on home Saturday. I need you back. So I've gone from playing Middlesbrough on the Tuesday in the Championship. I think we won 1-0. To going back to QPR to play against Chelsea at home in the Premier League, which is one of the biggest games. I was like, heads all over the place, packing your bags on your way down and back at home at QPR.
Thinking, I've got a sniff now.
I've got to make the most of this.
So did you take your chance?
Yeah, proper took my chance then. Proper took my chance. I had to learn from that adversity of messing up again, losing my place and thinking, okay, I've only made 1 Premier League. I need to make 50. I need to make 80.
Go with this.
Yeah, and that's when I finally got it. Stayed up that year, didn't we? Yeah. Stayed up that year. Yeah. That was the Aguero one, wasn't it? I think. Yeah. Was the Aguero one? Was, yeah.
That's the madness happened, didn't it? All in that one game. What was it like playing in that game? Carnage. They're so good, mate. They're so good. These elite teams are just on a different level that you face. I can remember us being just pinned in on our 18-yard box. Couldn't get out. I think we faced the most shots any team's faced. Every time we cleared the ball, it'd come back at you. It was just relentless. But somehow we managed to find ourselves 2-1 up. Yeah. I think we had 2 attacks, scored 2 goals, and we're like, bloody hell, 2-1 up here. On City.
Yeah, we had to win. Then we had to win to stay up, or we needed Bolton to lose at Stoke to stay up. And then they started bringing on Balotelli. They've already got Aguero. They've already got Tevez. They've got Silva. They bring on Dzeko. Dzeko's on.
Like
oh my God! So you're thinking, God, I'm counting him there, going right. That's 60 million. That's 120. So you're like, can I lend £500 million here? Yeah. So you can't. Your head's all over the place because you got these players darting in and out of everywhere, and the pressure just told. But I thought we had them for 1 minute because the crowd started to turn. They had a bit of nerves, and if you ever look on the tape, Mancini's losing his marbles a little bit.
I have seen that. Where
he's like, and I don't know what he's saying, but it's not nice. Like, and you just feel a little bit of momentum, and they get the goal, and you can just see the relief. And then I think we kick the ball out straight away for a throw in, something mad. Bang, straight on the attack again, and again they score the Aguero goal. and it's just gone mayhem.
Are you thinking you're down then?
Oh, if you watch it back, I'm the one on the floor giving it punch in the floor, thinking, we're relegated.
Yeah.
What the hell have we just done? But I didn't know a couple of minutes before that the game's finished at Stoke, and Johnny Walters, another local lad, has scored 2 goals to send Bolton down.
Yeah.
So a few of the lads have switched off, knowing that we've stayed up. Wow. But the back 4 haven't got a freaking clue, because we're marking all these superstars, and we can't switch off for a minute. So yeah, I'm gutted, devastated, and then I think Sean Wright Phillips or someone says, "Well, what's up with you? What's up with you, lad? We stayed up 3-4 minutes ago." And I'm like,
no one told me.
Could have told us there. You know, been having heart attacks here. Heart attacks here. So both teams stayed up on the day. So like it was party time. I had Man City fans coming on, going, "Oh, thanks, mate. Thanks for letting us win." I'm going, "I don't want you to frigging win." But it saved Man United when you're so happy days.
That's amazing, mate.
So good days, man. Yeah.
That's brilliant. So you go from Queen's Park Rangers, mate, to another Rangers. Now, this is close to my heart, mate, because it was in the army, obviously. Like, we all love Rangers in the army, and I've been to Northern Ireland. I know how big it is. I know about all the history and stuff like that. So you sign, and people, I don't think people know, Clint, how big it is it?
No.
It's massive, isn't it?
No. I mean, we all used to watch the games, the Old Firm games on TV, the Gascoignes, the Loudrups, all them, and you see the fans and the atmosphere, and like, what proper games these, big clubs then. But yeah, you don't realise how big the club is until you live it. You know what I mean? Until like you put the shirt on, or you live in and around the area, or you walk into the supermarket, or you're walking through town, and you realise how big the club is, mate. It is mental.
Well, when I've been up there, if you play pool, the felt on the table's blue, and if you go into a Celtic bar, it's green, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
That's how it is. Like, and I'd find it sometimes. I'd be walking through Glasgow town centre with the kids, and it'd be 50-50 who you'd meet, and some would go, "How are you, lad? You okay?" And the other ones would go and give you grief. Yeah. And that's the way it was. Wow. And I felt that. And
it's proper hatred, isn't
it? It is. Yeah, it is. It's a big football rivalry, and I think it goes a little bit deeper than that, obviously. But yeah, it's intense, mate. But what a fantastic club that is, mate. What a club! I don't know. I don't know. I still look to this day and go, "How the hell did I play for Glasgow Rangers?"
Yeah.
Don't know. A mate of mine, Bradley Orr, who's a local Boy Scouser, became an agent. He'd done Jordan Rossiter into Rangers at the time from Liverpool. I think they were looking for an experienced centre half. I don't think they were looking for me to play, just be a backup and be a good example and help the young lads through. So I got a phone call on holiday in Dubai. I was just sat on the balcony enjoying like the sunset, and I got a phone call saying, "Listen, Glasgow Rangers want you." And I went, "Nah, shut up, lad. No, you're having me on here. Get off. You're not having me on here, mate." So thought nothing of it. Bang, phone down. A couple of days later, he goes, "They want you, Said, "Do you fancy it?" And I've gone, "Right, I do, yeah, definitely, lad, yeah. Get me on it." But I had another week of my holiday left. So I'm like, all week, don't tell me my kids and that, it's me, my wife, I've got to get back. I've got to get back, because this might go away from me, they might move on to someone else.
Yeah.
I'm like, my dream might have gone. And lucky enough, bang, the week goes by and I'm like, please let this happen. Land, get the phone call, please come up to Glasgow. Sign for a year, and yeah, what an institution, mate, what a football club, and I loved every minute of it, lad. It's just fantastic.
Not just the fans, what kind of players were in the dressing room now, mate?
It was young. It was young. Obviously, it's come up through the divisions, from its troubles, and they had a young squad that got up from the Championship to the Premier League. But I can remember having a bite to eat in Glasgow, and just on with a couple of lads, and someone came over and went, "No, we've got to win 55, don't you?" And I've gone, "Okay." So no, we've got to win 55 this year. And I'm thinking, well, you've had like 9 years out. You're just going through a bit of transition. You might need a few years to adjust. No. That's what it is. It's relentless, and it's pressure, and they expect to win. So that was a big eye opener for me. But we weren't a great team. We were a bit of a mix. We had a few old ones and a few young ones, and it just wasn't good enough to challenge Celtic. Just challenge Celtic, because listen, their team was more evolved, and just got Brendan Rodgers in, haven't they, as well? So they were a few years ahead of Rangers at the time. But Oh mate, I loved it. Yeah, I mean they had the poppy day, didn't they? Where they'd put the big poppies in the stands and they'd support the troops and they'd have the big cannons on the side of the pitch.
And the songs that
they had Forces Day. It was fantastic, mate, and great atmosphere. And I'm very lucky to have tasted it.
What was the transition like from English football to Scottish football then, Clint?
Very different. Yeah. Very different. A lot of people look at it and go, "It's a rubbish league. What are you on about? You could easily walk up there and do well, but." It's the weight of the shirt.
And it's like a cup final for everyone else playing.
So as soon as you put that top on, you're a target, you're a Rangers player. Players are going to raise the game 10, 15, 20% against you that day. Because you'd find you might struggle to get a 1-0 win against, say, I don't know, a Dundee or a Livingston at Ibrox. Just scrape through 1-0 and then they go get beat 5-0 against Ross County.
You just raise the bar.
And you're like, what the hell's happening here? It's just... But I always thought when you put that shirt on, you're a target, teams are going to raise the game, so you have to be more kind of at it than them. You've got to match that tempo, you've got to be higher than that to get over it.
And handle that expectation.
Yeah, because it is, and the crowd get on you if you're not winning. Within 15, 20 minutes, they're on you. And if you get, the biggest thing for me, you get a draw. I thought you go get a draw at Aberdeen away, and it'd be like a loss. It's not good enough. Yeah. It's not good enough.
Where, like the big Stuart in Guard.
Yeah, it's like, nah, not good enough. Nah, booing you. And where in England, if you go away on a difficult night Tuesday and get a draw, it's like, not bad that. But totally different up there. Totally different. Expectations on a different level.
You were the oldest debutant, weren't you?
Yeah.
37.
Yeah, I don't know if that's changed now, hasn't it? But yeah.
I don't know if it
there's been, I think Defoe's up there, isn't he? Defoe scored the other day for the goal, didn't he? Those games are just different level.
Amazing.
Different level. The whole build
like
up. The whole build up. Like from a week before the game, you've got to think of, there's two teams in there and the papers are just football. Yeah. So it starts, all the papers. You can't walk around the town because you've got someone going, you need to beat them. You need to beat them. So the pressure's building every day. And then you actually get into the game, mate, and it is just 100 mile an hour. Can't hear yourself think. Me and you were playing together, I can't even speak to you because the noise is that intense. You can't even catch your breath. It's just relentless, like. And the next thing you know, you're like, it's 90 minutes. You go, what the hell's happened here? Yeah. It's just come off and you're just absolutely exhausted because you've given everything to that game.
Is it totally different the away to the home?
No, just as relentless. Just as relentless, because I was lucky enough because it's probably one of the last games where they had 8,000 or 7,000 or 8,000 of away fans in a stadium. I think they've cut it now to like 800 or something, which is pathetic. So it was just madness, mate. You got all this green side absolutely hating. You'd step off the bus, they're throwing coins at you, they're spitting at you, doing the warm up. There's grannies and there's little kids giving you grief, veins popping out your heads, and you're like, Jesus, what's happening here? And then whistle goes and it is just like bang, bang, bang for 90 minutes.
Did it shoot you?
Yeah, but to a certain extent it did. But it's different to any game.
I've looked at you when you played at Sammy and I think you'd be suited for the derby. You've got to win your battles, got to get stuck in, dominate your 1v1s.
Yeah, it is. I'm just gutted. I was like, what was I, 37 when I went, and I no disrespect to myself, it's probably not my best years, but I could still play. But to play in those games, I just never thought it'd happen. So,
and you actually scored, didn't you?
I scored, yeah.
Last minute.
Last minute. I think the cross came, a shot came in, keeper saved it, and I just done the best John Aldridge one. Then I just read where the ball was going, managed to step in front, 3 yards out, and I just thought, God, don't frigging miss this. Don't miss this. And I think if you look at it, it's so slow motion. I think it's hit my shin pad, so I thought, just get a big part of your body on this. Yeah. Hit my shin pad, it's just gone like a rocket into the bottom corner. And made the noise was just like,
unreal.
Yeah, just one side here, blue, just went up. Madness, big fires, the flares, the lot, mate, and all this side were just gutted. Absolutely gutted.
I'm sure you're a hero for life.
Gutted.
There after scoring.
It's weird, mate. It's weird because you can score on old firms and then you can actually, someone will buy you a pint It's mad. But that was only a draw, but it felt like a win because of where the club had been and everything.
And they were a bit behind Celtic.
Yeah,
so
massively behind. So I'm buzzing like where they are now, where Jesus, they're spanking Celtic every week now, and every time they come up against them, they're just dusting them off.
He's done a great job.
Oh yeah, he's had a good backing. He's got some good players in there now, so hopefully tide's turned and it's onwards and upwards.
So what was the transition like from there to Carlisle, mate? Because how did that come about?
It was hard for me because once you leave Rangers, you're like...
That's what I was thinking. It's really tough, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, got everything, the training ground superb, stadium's full.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, I'm gutted I've left here. But I knew I had more. I wanted one more year of playing. And Keith Kerr was my old assistant at Palace and QPR, and he was manager at Carlisle. Brilliant. So he said, listen, come in.
That's the link.
Come in, play some games for me. I don't need you in every day. God, you're not going to get fitter. You're not going to get any better. So I used to play Saturday, travel down Thursday, stay Thursday, Friday, play Saturday, go home. So
did that help you?
Yeah, I didn't need to train. Don't get me wrong, I didn't sit on my arse and do nothing. I went to the gym and
because of your age, though.
Yeah, I didn't need to train.
Yeah,
I didn't need to train. I just knew I'm never going to get any better, not going to get any fitter. I just needed to make sure I was right for Saturday.
And the recovery, because you're probably playing Saturday, Tuesday, and then you've got to recover because your body's getting older. Obviously, it takes longer to recover. I think I played 40 odd games that season, and we've done okay. It was a good experience, mate, just to see a different level in the way players kind of prepare and the way they develop in those leagues was good for me, just to see another side of it. So I've done all the leagues now in England. Yeah. League 2 to Prem, brilliant. So I've seen it all. And then you've done the Scottish one.
And I've done the Scottish Prem. So yeah, I'm glad I made that choice because I've seen it all.
Distinguished career, Clint, because you have 588 appearances. That's known.
Yeah, I've known.
I've known. Yeah. No, but like I think that there might be a few more in there.
Yeah, I think about 670. I think if you had all like League Cups and Cups and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so
that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm proud, mate. I never thought I'd get to where I did, but it just shows where resilience and mind over matter and pay your rent every day, mate. Yeah. Approach every day like it's your last. Train like it's your last, and you never know where it takes you.
Well, we've got a transition now into coaching, mate. Did you ever have any thoughts about becoming a coach?
Yeah, something I always thought it would be. Just a natural progression for me. Yeah. So I just knew I had to like get all this out somewhere. Yeah. Listen, it was hard at first because you don't realise the hours that you need to put in, and as players, you just turn up and do it. Yeah. As a coach, you've got to prepare for hours just for a block of an hour. Yeah. The work that goes into it, as you know yourselves. Yeah. And you've got to think of all the different things in there that players need. It was an eye-opener. Get up at 6, not get back till 7. There was like, never done this before in my life.
I know how hard you work. We spoke about this when you're doing the analyst stuff as well. And it's not just fitness training session, plan the training sessions, look at the next game, looking at shape, keeping the players happy, fitness, everything. You're also doing other stuff like the analyst stuff as well, preparing for the next game, because in the professional game you're getting people in, watch, and then take it out.
You have to watch it yourself. You have to watch it yourself, and you have to watch games back as well to give feedback to players, which can take 3 hours just watching one game back. Yeah. So it's time consuming. It's time consuming, as you know yourself, but the rewards you get from it are like nothing else. You know what I mean? And it's an industry, I know. It's football's my life. That's all I've ever known. It's weird because you kind of institutionalise, mate, because if you come out of football, I can see how people struggle. Yeah. Because it's all you know. And like, you get told what to do, what time, get what you're fed.
And the buzz.
Yeah, and the buzz, you can't live that again. So for me, it was the natural progression to do, and I love it, mate, it's great.
It's great that you've got a passion for coaching as well, mate, because like you just said there, when something happens and you work on something, I get like an inner glow. Yeah. With the kids or the adults in the bookie, you think, wow, that's amazing, that. And you get that in the goal. You can't buy that, can you?
That's that little moment you live for. Yeah. And like, you might not get it for a couple of months, but when you do get it, it's like a good golf shot, isn't it? Yeah. Do a great golf, I can play again. So they're the little things, but no, I'm with you on that, I agree, yeah.
So you're at Fleetwood, mate, you go to Fleetwood with Joey Barton?
Yeah. Yeah, so I got offered another year to play at Carlisle, but out the blue, Joe gave me a shout and said, listen, do you fancy being my assistant manager at Fleetwood? I know Joe, we played together, but I never thought we were best mates, you know what I mean? Have a beer every now and then. So that was out the blue. I said,
Can I ask you a quick question? Do you think Joey Barton would have been a manager when you were looking at him when he was playing?
Maybe not to begin with. I probably thought he'd go coach, work up.
Yeah.
But the way he kind of went about the game, the way he talked about the game, even as a player, you knew he'd be in it somewhere.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't think he get the chance as quickly as he did.
Right.
So yeah, we went into Fleetwood. He made me assistant manager. So I thought, yeah, I'll bin that extra year of playing because this is what I want to do long term. And yeah, really good club to go into. I think we kind of got middle table first year. Second year we kicked on into the playoffs again, lost the playoffs, and then the weird one was like, I think the start of this year, we got the sack out of the blue, 3 points off the playoffs, going into like January, thinking we might get a couple of players in to kick on, and we'd have a great chance of doing playoffs again. Just got a phone call out of the blue saying, no, your services ain't needed again. So I was like, the ups and downs of football. Wow. I've never been sacked before, and it was horrible. Like the feeling was like, so angry, and she didn't really get a proper explanation. Like, so hard one to take, but a great learning place for us to kind of learn from our mistakes and get our way of working into practice. Those few years at Fleetwood.
So when you come out of Fleetwood, did you reflect and get set everything right for your next job? Yeah, well, as best you can. You kind of look back at what you did and now you can get better and little things like that. And then I think we're out of job for 7 weeks. And then we went to Bristol Rovers. Not doing bad there. I know, because coming to 7 or 8 weeks, you start thinking, oh, God, phone's not ringing. Yeah, I want to get back. Don't think I'll ever get back into this. Yeah. That's just the way your mind works. You've had your first taste of going in as a assistant manager. So that's my first time in football. Yeah. Well, without football in how many years? God, 20 plus years. So it was weird, horrible. Not a good feeling. So you go to Bristol Rovers, mate. What was that like? Hard, mate. Really hard. Like I said before, you think you know a club that you're getting yourself into, but you don't really know until you're in the building. And there was a lot of things done incorrectly from pre-season onwards. We were the third manager that year, so obviously it tells you something wasn't right. And the longer we stayed in, the more cracks you'd see appear. Fitness was a massive issue. No pre-season. Lads were breaking down because of, I think we had 10 games in 5 weeks. What was the thinking going back to that? I don't know. It was a young coach who sees it a different way, who thinks we can do it all with the ball, which, hey, listen, we all have our own ways of doing football. You might be right, I might be wrong. But he missed out on that big chunk of hard work. And then when the games and the intensity came of Saturday, Tuesday for 5 weeks solid, lads were just breaking down. And if we had our first 11 available throughout the season, at the time we were there, we might have been okay. But now you're starting coming into lads underneath the first team and they're not fit enough and they haven't had game time, and it was all a mess. So not a great experience for us because we got relegated, which nobody wants. But now we get a chance to reset. And we've signed 4 good quality signings over the last 48 hours to give us a core, and then we'll add to it again. So I'm really looking forward to the season. 12,000 fans in, proper old stadium again. Let's get it going. Best of luck with that, Clint. Appreciate it, mate. Joey, mate. Thank you. Yeah. So I heard on the grapevine as well you're doing your pro licence. Just started this week. So we've had four Zoom class meetings this week, which has been good. Different way of learning. Yeah. Obviously you can't be over a table, you have to watch someone on a Zoom, which is hard. But got some good stuff from it and just started preparing already. So hopefully go there in July for 3 or 4 days. And then you'll have your first contact then? First contact, and then I think it goes on for 18 months then. So looking forward to it, and I need that licence to kick on where I want to go. Best of luck with that as well, mate. Thank you. So just a few quick questions now, mate. Best player you ever come up against? Luis Suarez. Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable player. Caused me an absolute mischief. Everything I thought I could do, he just went, nah, you're not doing that. He took me into pockets where I didn't want to go. He'd take me there and he'd spin out the other way. He was a horrible, nasty little player as well, which I loved. Yeah. He was up for a scrap. Just everywhere. Proper team player. Yeah. Proper team player. Love to have him on your team and go, he's all day for us. Yeah.
gave me nightmares, but what a privilege it was.
When I was watching him with Liverpool when we went away, you do a 1-2 off someone's shin.
That's I used to go. What's he doing there? But he used to practice that in training, you know.
Yeah.
He used to run at you, kick it into you, and his momentum would take it on, and you'd be stuck flat-footed, and he'd just be running through you.
Wow.
So sorry, but he practiced it.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's some skill that.
You finish from anywhere.
Some people think you need a step over, no? Just be a bulldozer.
Just be a bulldozer. So what? Just for like kids who are watching the show, because I do a lot of coaching myself. What's it like being a centre back?
Good.
Any tips?
Any tips? You've got to be good. You've got to be good at heading. You've got to be aggressive, and you've got to be patient. Yeah. You've got to be patient. Don't think you can win everything. I made that mistake. Yeah. If I could go back to anything, I'd probably be a little bit more patient in the way I defended. So don't feel like you have to win every ball or every challenge. Just forcing people to have a touch and go backwards or wide
Job done.
Is a win.
Yeah.
Is a win. So yeah, be patient in your defending.
That's brilliant, mate. And how would you describe yourself as a player?
100%. Know what you're getting. Not the most skillful, but I'd fight to the death for my teammates and my club.
Brilliant, mate. And any advice to young players who are coming through now?
Enjoy the grind. Because it's a grind, mate. I think who's the rugby England coach? I heard him talk about it the other day, and I was like, I like that. Enjoy the grind, because it's not easy. Yeah. Nothing's easy, but if you enjoy it, you'll come through the other side, and you'll reach places that you never thought you could. So enjoy the grind, lads.
Oh, that's fantastic. Enjoy the grind. I'll be using that one, Clint. So what was your best game ever involved in, mate?
Couple there. I think Wembley. Let's go to Wembley, because I got sent off. Didn't get experience to walk up the steps. It was a nightmare for me. So to go back with QPR, captain of my team, and kind of put that nightmare to bed, walk up the steps, lift the trophy. Yeah, that was a special moment, because it kind of put all the demons to one side.
Yeah. It just shows where you come from, though, doesn't it? As you grew as a player and on your journey, and you put that one to bed, getting sent off, couldn't go up the steps of actually going up. And it's
got to keep going, mate. You've got to keep moving forward, because adversity's everywhere. So just break through that and keep pushing on.
Brilliant, that one, mate. Any regrets?
No, I wouldn't. Even the nightmares I went through. Nah, it's made me who I am. It made me do things I couldn't even imagine doing it. So I never thought I'd get to where I played in football. So I think all those little bits of adversity, bad luck, nightmares, horrible times, helped me get to where I wanted to go.
I think that's a good point, because you can't just get on the train and go straight there to your destination. No. You're going to get off, you're going to have bumps, you're going to have...
and it's how you handle those things.
The setbacks, how you handle that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, mate.
So what do you see happening in the future for Clint Hill?
Need promotion.
Promotion?
One promotion next year.
Would you ever think of management yourself? I'm not jumping the gun with anyone. No.
Something I've always thought about, but I don't have that fire in me just yet. I'm enjoying being a coach. I'm enjoying like putting sessions on, developing sessions and all that. I'm really enjoying that side of it. Like, so maybe one day I'll have to scratch the itch, but that's a few years off here.
Oh, brilliant. So big thanks to Clint for coming on. Clint,
thanks, mate.
Final whistle.
Thank you. Sorry for waffling.
You haven't waffled. I'm sure everyone will enjoy it, mate. It's been fantastic to have you on. Me and Chili really enjoyed that. Been excellent, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Right, this is the worst bit for me. Please subscribe on YouTube and press the like button. Also get us on Facebook and Insta. I'm sure you'll really enjoy that show. Some golden nuggets to take out of it. See you soon. Thank you very much. Cheers, Clint.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks very much.